Good evening. This is Gideon's Take in 20 minutes, bringing you news and stories around the world in a best way that you can understand. Let's get into it. Do you know that being a famous person can be detrimental to your health and also to your mental to your well-being? Sometimes we ignore the importance of just living your life with no one worrying about what you're doing next, or even without even worrying when you're going to mama mbogas or when you're meeting with people in the supermarkets. You ignore that, right? Sometimes you can just call a Uber, you can just go to a matatu and board it, you can just go practically everywhere without even necessarily seeking for anyone's permission or even feeling obligated to go and greeting people, or even without feeling obligated to hide from the people. But many people, this luxury is not just a normal thing. It is luxury to them. Many people do not get to experience the freedom of moving around and just expressing themselves the way they can. This is because when you get famous, or when you cross paths with famous people, or when you start doing your own thing, some people get triggered and others just start admiring you, and they would like to associate with you as much as they can. So this is the life of Perez Hilton, one of the United States paparazzi, or the people who started this paparazzi thing. The paparazzi is whereby a person would trail you as a famous person and look for something that might trigger curiosity in people. Let us say, for instance, among the footballers in the UK, these people follow a certain footballer to their home, everywhere, to the club. Now you might be just drinking or even having fun around a certain club, then a girl approaches you, starts talking to you. These paparazzi just look for a moment whereby they're just going to take a good photo of you, just using any kind of angle to show certain narrative. Then they are going to push this narrative in a way that maybe you did not intend, or you are not planning. So they will just expose it in a very minimal way, or in their way that you never like it, but they will have drawn the attention of the masses, and the people will be asking themselves, now if he's doing this, what next? Or maybe like when players meet and just have fun, you might meet like two players from different clubs. Paparazzi can take a photo of these players and now start circulating rumors about now these people discussing on the transfer window, and this one can even trigger for your transfer and something like that. So paparazzi is something that maybe crosses borders and even red lines, and also gets into people's lifelines. So Perez, after working on a media house called GAL, he moved, started his own freelancing duties, whereby he was freelancing for the gay community. He was trying to maybe air the life of gay people and how they existed among other people. Then from there he moved to California, whereby now he started outing the celebrities who did not come out clearly. Let us say, for instance, if someone is lesbian or gay and did not come out, let's say for instance someone is gay, but in the limelight or in the open, in the public, they pretend to be straight or something like that, or they just pretend they don't like relationships. So he used to air or out these people, and now people could see who they are, and he gained fame through his celebrity gossip website, whereby he used to give a lot of gossips. Then he started a podcast where he could discuss different topics and such and such. So to his detriment, in the August 4th, he recorded himself on a TikTok live, whereby he was arming himself using a knife. Until now, people called for police, and he was rescued before he could take his life, and he was taken to hospital. Now he's being hospitalized. He has been going through this kind of episodes for several times, and every time he relapses, so he comes back after those episodes. He says that he's sorry, apologizes to the people who matter to him, and he comes back. He has gotten three children through surrogacy, and while he was arming himself using a knife, he was saying that he's doing it for his children. We might not know too much about why he was doing that, because he's still hospitalized and he has not given his side of story. But as much as you get that, we are going to give you more news. Otherwise, anytime you meet people you do not know, or even the people you think you know, please try to give them their space. Let them express themselves. If they want to interact with you, please give them that chance. If they feel that they just need that space, allow them to live their life, because sometimes the life of celebrity is not an easy life. In other news, there is a rift in the united opposition, whereby we have seen in the past 2 days the united opposition leaders fighting each other. It started in Mount Kenya leaders, whereby Gachagua said that every leader in the mountain now should either join DCP, or maybe coined it in a very difficult way, saying that he does not want the boardroom meetings whereby you call him to go and to the boardroom to form coalitions. He said that that one is not going to happen. On the flip side, he said that everyone now should go to the ground and mobilize people against President Ruto. Then we shall meet at the end of the time of choosing the political flag bearer. That is around May, whereby they are going to be outing their political flag bearer. And if that happens, he said that he's not going to be discussing in the boardrooms on how they are going to form coalitions. However, today he retracted his words and took them back and said that since now Ruto or dually called the people of Mount Kenya hyenas, he should call Bwana Muturi and they form a coalition, and they call it Hyena Coalition. That is a coalition for the people of Mount Kenya. I don't know what is where he's going with these words, because he also said or insinuated that instead of now fighting, he instructed his people, instead of fighting back to what Kibagendi was saying in Kisii, using the Jubilee convoy, he said that instead of now in fighting amongst the united opposition, all the efforts should be joined together towards fighting the sitting president. So the aim of all the united opposition is to unseat the current president. So if they can get just a chance to put him out of the office, that is the only thing that they need. So they do not need to keep fighting. They do not need to do a lot of things, just to unite and fight together and see if they can take Ruto out. In other news, Caleb Amisi is going to be launching his political party. He declared himself the founder of Linda Mwananchi, but he said now that he's going to find, or he's going to come to bring out his political party, which is a Kenya Renaissance Party. And he's saying that he's going to be announcing it on 11th of August. So we are waiting to see how that goes, because we would expect that all these political parties are going to come together. However, he has been a big critic of Gachagua and his ways of pronouncing things. You know, Gachagua is proud of the people of Mount Kenya, and many people mistake him for tribalism, or maybe he is, but the way he just puts him there and just articulates himself as the kingpin of Mount Kenya, he does not even bother about other regions or any other thing. He just glued himself into Mount Kenya, and that has given him a political mileage. Many people are threatened by that, and are saying that is tribalist, his people just segregates his people. So Caleb Hamis has been one of those critics, and saying that Gachagua does not wear the national outfit. So he thinks that by just having his political party may put him in a better place to bargain for his position, maybe in united opposition. In other news, your people who might need maternal health care, or who might need to be attended to in maternity, might face it difficult, either be sent to private hospitals, or they are told to wait because there are a shortage of nurses in public hospitals. And also in some hospitals, I think they are fully departed. Like there are no nurses in most of the hospitals. So for the people who need maternal care, they might face the music, or might face it difficult by not getting attended to. And this has caused a lot of problems among the people who need this kind of care. Mostly because maternal care is something that is very delicate, and when you go to an hospital, you do not find an healthcare assistant or a nurse. It makes it difficult for you to survive. So we are praying and requesting the government, the county governments, and everyone who is involved in that to come together, to come to the table and listen to these people. Just listen to what they are saying and give them a chance, so that we can have our mothers getting treatment, and also other people who need care should get it from the people who are given that opportunity to care for us, because we are Kenyans, and as Kenyans, we need to be attended to when we need the attendance, or when we need this service most. In other news, Ruto yesterday launched an emergency control center in the Shah House, whereby he introduced a digital command center whereby you can hail more than 600 available ambulances from the public hospitals, private hospitals, and St. John ambulances and the Red Cross ambulances. So when you have an emergency, you can just call 922 and you're going to be attended to. You're going to be, and your call is going to be received. Then you're going to be given a direction. You're going to be allocated an ambulance that is closer to you if they are not all engaged. And I hope this one now does not just revolve around Nairobi, because the people of Nairobi, they are the people who know about these things. And you watu wenye understand what is happening across the country. So and you watu wako na simu, ndio watu pia wanaona hizi news closely and they can follow them up. So if this thing does not go to mashinani where people need it more, I think it will not make sense, because in Nairobi, yeah, you can call a cab, you can call anyone, you can even chukua boda any time of the day, any time of the night, any time, 24 hours, 7 days of the week. But there uko mashinani, it is very difficult for people to get attention, or even to get attended to by any transport means. So if these ambulances can be available uko mashinani, it would make it very easy for the people there, and the people will appreciate. And this command center would even make sense to a lot of people, unlike when it is in Nairobi and people are not benefiting a lot. That is a common mwananchi, because the people of Nairobi, most of the time we are privileged to have an economy that runs 24 hours, 7 days of the week. So it is easier for you to hail any kind of means of transport. And unlike when it is to emergency, you call for an ambulance and it comes to save you. In other news, there is a car hire business that hired or gave out their car to a guy who was to go to Mombasa for some few days and come back. And since this was a referral, it seemed safe. However, once this man was given the car, he just removed the car truck and left it somewhere. So when the car hire business now looked at the truck to see where the car is, they noticed that the car has been on standby, or has been abandoned for some time. Now they followed the tracker to a certain place in Ruto, whereby they just found that the trucker was left there, abandoned there, and the car was gone. So it is said the person who hired this car has been using these kinds of means to hire cars and traffic drugs around the country. So to my car guys, I would ask, if you are in this situation, what would you do? Like now, you just hire your car out in a normal way. You understand the kind of business. When you get someone who hires your car, he pays you the premium for the days that they are going to use the car, and they fuel the car, and now you expect them to bring the car in a good condition. However, now this person goes and removes the truck of the car and uses the car even to do some malicious things. How do you cope with that? Let us discuss that, and I know it will be easier for us to discuss. Another news: Infantino, the president of FIFA, has been received a reprieve from his people after he called a crisis meeting in Morocco, and his executive committee agreed that he's going to continue to be the president of FIFA, and he apologized for causing some commotions by advocating for the privatization of FIFA. He said that he apologized, and now the people said that, okay, you can continue being the president for... I don't think whether he care too much about the president, so you just take it over and let us see how much you're going to steer us into the rocks, or you're going to steer us into success. In other news, Interpol has ranked Kenya the second in Africa in cyber attacks. When you are following South Africa in this letter, I was surprised to see that Nigeria is not one of them, because a lot of sharp boys, Yahoo boys and everything, they come from Nigeria. So I don't know. I thought Nigeria would be number one and we are number two. But when we come to the limelight of Interpol, you know that we are at a very high risk. So to the sharp boys, or people who use Tandao and online transactions and everything, be careful out there, because Interpol might be watching you when you're doing your transaction. In other news, Murang'a ex-governor Mwangi Wairia his property in Karen and his hospital has been put on auction that can go on 25 this August after maybe he has failed to pay a certain amount of loans. He has also been pursued by the EACC for a graft case of around 546 million or 542.6 million. So I hope that he's going to get a reprieve. We have seen such cases happening to different people. The kinds of Moses Kuria, the kinds of Sarup Mishra, the kinds of Raphael Tuju and Mary Wamboi, whereby you accumulate wealth through getting loans, but now when these loans are not repaid in time, now the auctioneers will just come for the property that you listed as trustee, or that you listed, so that it can be taken when things go south. So to the business people, when things get tough, I hope that they are going to get tough and things are better, because sometimes it is worrying trend whereby you see a business person who established their business in a legitimate way, or maybe even not legitimate, but that business should be doing well. But at some point you look at it and you see these people are being auctioned. It gives a lot of goosebumps, because every time we are doing anything, when you are doing something that is giving you money and it seems short-lived, like for instance, let us say for the people who do freelancing, like you are a consultant, you are someone who just you are veteran, veterinary, like these people do gigs, like you are told that when you get this money, invest in a business. Okay, now we ask ourselves, now if these businesses are going down like this, where is the safe place for you to put your money? Because it doesn't seem to be a better way of doing your things. So do we say do your things, or do we say that we should look for a better environment, or we should build a better environment for business to thrive? In other news, there is a guy by the name Eric Otieno, a border guy, who was taken by the police to Muthaiga police station. He was locked there for a day and he was released. He was taken on Saturday and he was released on Sunday. After being released on Sunday, he was rushed to Mama Margaret Uhuru Kenyatta hospital, but before he arrived there, he was pronounced dead. And his death has now caused a lot of controversies, now bringing back the memories of Kina Ojwang, who was killed in hospital. So people are asking if the police stations are not safe for the people, or they're asking how comes this guy was taken on Saturday when he was healthy. He was locked in the police cells for one day, and when he was released, he did not survive even for an extra day. They're asking, is it a coincidence that this just happened, or is it something that... Are there some questions that we should be asking as Kenyans? Is it really correct? So they are saying that the CCTV has been concealed, but they are seeking for the CCTV to be released so that they can see what happened inside the cells, so that they can get a conclusive answer. It is shameful to see that when you go to a police station, you either come out not alive, or you come out with a lot of stories that are not pleasing to the rest of the community. So let us try and make police cells or police cells better or secure for the rest of the community, because those are places whereby we find solace when we feel like the community is not working for us. We go to the police cell. So why not make them safe for everyone? In other news, today Ruto and Oburu call their followers, that is the MPs and governors, into Naivasha for a 3-day retreat, so that they can consolidate their power. They are going to talk about the succession of 2027, who is going to take over the DP, who is going to take over anything, who is going to take over which part and which part. But little do they know that now people have their own ways. You can call these people, you can talk, you can negotiate, you can even talk about so many things. But if people say that they are not going to return these MPs, they are not going to return these governors, how are these governors going to give you numbers? However, these governors have their followers, so when you consolidate them, when you talk to them, they are going to give you certain numbers. These numbers matters a lot to the president. It doesn't matter whether the MP, the governor is going to go back, but it matters the kind of numbers that they are going to bring. So we hope that they are going to have something better for Kenya rather than just consolidating power for themselves. In other news, it is being said that the price of cooking oil is now going to the highs of 2022, whereby you could not afford to buy a liter of oil. A liter of oil at that time was going to around 300 shillings. So for those who have gone to the supermarkets to buy oil of late, how much is a liter of oil? Please let us discuss and see how that goes. In other news, in the oily markets, we can see that Iran is saying that they are on the final stages of finalizing the agreement with Oman so that they can secure the pathways in the Strait of Hormuz. The USA and Oman have not commented on this, but Iran has just said that they are in the final stages. Let us see how that goes. Get more news. I'm going to be bringing them to you. In other news, former Bangladesh Prime Minister says that she's planning to go back to Bangladesh in December, despite her being put on the death sentence. After she was outed through the Gen Z Mandamano or protest, she ran into India, and now she said that now she's ready to go back to her country so that she can be with her people. I don't know what will transpire after that, but we'll be watching to see what comes out, and I will bring you those news as soon as I see them. Today, watchmen and guards have been called to State House, and they have already been promised a change in the name from guards and watchmen to private security officers. These are one of the many promises that Ruto gives, but changing of a name might seem as a simple thing, but it is too procedural, and maybe executive order can make it easier, but it is really procedural, and I hope that they are going to get the change of the name, because while at the State House, I have not gotten a lot of stories from insiders, but I would try to get as much as possible and now bring it back. The way just told you how chiefs were given a rise in their salaries, how the village elders were promised smartphone and stipend, monthly stipend, how they are enrolled into SHA and so much more. So when I get this news, be sure that I'm going to be bringing it to you in real time. In other news, there is a court case challenging the cabro pavements in Nairobi. Someone just sat down and saw that the cabros are being put in Nairobi in a higher speed and so much. I'm not disputing this kind of cases, because you understand these cabros are not being given by the government for free. Someone who is being given this tender, maybe they saw some disputes or mismatch in the way the tendering is done and so. But in Kenya, we are too democratic such that you can just go and oppose or just bring a case against something that is working or not working. So for that cabro business, someone standing up today and challenging that cabros are being put too much in Nairobi. I don't know what they're intending to do, because for me, when I walk in Nairobi and there's cabro and I am walking without carrying dust and mud around, I feel a little bit comfortable. Maybe if there are other cases, maybe there's corruption involved in the tendering process, maybe we can report on that. But now we should not stop the process of putting cabro in the area, because the people need that kind of infrastructure for the city to look better. Lastly, Poplio said that he was going to be visiting Peru, where he spent a lot of his time. He spent a lot of time in Peru, so he's going to be going there and maybe pray together with the people of Peru, and we hope to see what transpires, because these journeys just make it interesting for certain countries. I don't know the economic factors, but once these people, the prominent people, visit places, just makes it interesting to follow and see what happens. Otherwise, that is as much as I have for today. I will be seeing you in the next news. See you soon.